Time being 3 o'clock, we will call the meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance first, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call, please.
Healy.
Here.
Swenson.
Here.
Kettering.
Here.
Loaf.
Here.
Clemish.
Here.
Is there any reason for any commissioner to abstain for a financial or non-financial conflict?
No. None. No.
I have one to mention. Journey Group. I had a brother-in-law who worked for them until about October of last year. He worked for a subsidiary, was based in Spearfish, South Dakota. If anybody feels that's going to influence my decision, I don't feel it will. Please voice any concerns about that.
I have none.
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 Mr. Swenson?
Who do you work for?
He worked for a subsidiary of Journey Group.
Oh, just a
But he was,
subcontractor.
yeah, he was based in Spearfish.
Yeah, okay.
Doesn't work for him anymore.
And in this situation, we have just one bid, so it's
Yeah,
not
I-
like there are multiple bids.
Still thought I'd better mention it.
If I had to abstain, I know half the people I'm related to the other half in Yankton County, so I understand.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 4, approval of agenda. Are there any changes proposed for the agenda?
Madam Chairman, I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as written. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Agenda is approved. Item 5 is public comment.
Yeah.
Anyone in the audience care to make a public comment? There being none, I'll close public comment. Moving on to item 6, review bids for Jamesville Bridge repairs. Mike?
Yes, I handed out to you guys there right at the beginning of the meeting the bid quote, the one and only bid quote that we did receive for the Jamesville Bridge repair. The bid total amount came out to $118,665 from the Journey Group. We're the same company that did the repair on the Johnson Bridge.
Are you happy with this? You've worked with this group before and you're happy with them?
Yeah. I guess if you look on the middle of the first page there, it says the bidder will start and fully complete the project by March 8th of 2020. That is as long as Mother Nature does not allow. If they do go past the March 8th completion date, and it is not because of Mother Nature. If you look on the third page, in the middle of the page there, they would fall in that amount of liquidated damages per calendar day, would be $650 that they would get charged.
Every day?
So there
every day?
is a penalty for not.
Is the March 8th date, is that the day that, is that the 180 days, or is it March 10th, or what is the March?
March 8th is
Okay.
the 180 days.
So, right. So the target date should be like March 1st, really. I mean, when you're telling these guys, right? I mean, get it done before then. All right.
And they would plan to, talking with them, it sounds like they would plan not to start this coming week, because this coming week they have to get materials together, rounded up. The week of the 27th would be the plan for them to
All right.
start.
Looking at these repairs, I know you had 2 or 3 options last time. Is this the better quality
This
option?
was the top.
Okay, and so are they actually gonna go and they're gonna jackhammer out some of the concrete, put in new concrete and steel?
Yep.
Fix it right? Okay.
Right.
And do you feel like this is gonna be a long-term, is this a Band-Aid or is this a
This
long-term
is
repair?
a long-term fix versus going the other
Okay.
route.
Okay. And then do you feel at this point that, will the bridge have the same structural integrity it did prior to? Will the load limit on that bridge change? I know we don't know at this point, but are they telling you, will the bridge be like it was before? Will it be better? Will it be worse?
It should be the same.
Okay. I'll take same. Better would be
Right.
better, but, all right. Thank you.
Further questions?
I do, just regarding, that paragraph 2, failure to complete on time. It's pretty straightforward, other than, I don't see, that just weather and whatnot. Is that defined anywhere? That, I didn't see it in here.
Well, talking with Adam, that's kind of the case.
And that, I mean, that makes sense, I just don't know
Because the main thing would be like,
what.
the water level,
Right,
isolate, whatever you want to call it, but
yeah.
And the state has been unwilling to give us an extension past 180 days we've asked, and they're holding us to 180 days, so.
I'm just curious, what's typical, who determines it? A rain day is a rain day, or
Right.
a certain,
Is that 180 working days or just 180 days?
180 days.
Okay.
That's 180 day, correct me if I'm wrong, from when the damage happened? It was underwater when it happened,
From-
and then, right?
From the declaration
Which,
date,
which was, when was that?
is it
it was like,
September 13th?
Yeah, when the bridge was still underwater, and when we didn't even get it inspected until, was it October, November?
Right.
So, and we worked, so, good old state government for you.
did they give you?
It's not the state, it's
Well,
federal guidelines, and
right, yeah.
actually, they're doing their very best to accommodate. There is an argument that we don't qualify for the 100% at all, so they're doing their best to accommodate us.
Did they indicate at all, good weather, start to finish, how long that would be?
They did not.
Okay, I'm just curious.
I guess, I did not ask.
Just a suggestion, is there somehow that we can hold this company, their feet to the fire if they aren't complete with it? That we can make them pay some kind of a fine or something? Just an idea, because,
Yeah.
say they, I don't know, just a scenario, their company goes on strike,
They,
or
and if, on page 3, number 2, that's what he's talking about, $650 a day.
They got that, you
Yeah.
got that covered then,
Yeah, yeah.
or they, go out of business, bankrupt or something, so.
I think it's notable that our previous estimates were about $220,000 roughly. It's $100,000 under the architects or project engineers' estimates.
The bid quote, or not the bid quote, the state's estimated cost was $214,915.
Okay. I'd guess at the price they bid it on, they can't afford not to be working on it pretty hard and fast.
Well, and then also that 214, that does not just include the repair, that includes the riprap and everything else from the flood.
Sure, there's more to it.
This is
than
just-
what we-
There's
This
more
is-
to it than just this.
Okay.
Well, is that a separate bid then? Are we gonna, if we don't get the riprap done in 180 days, are we gonna lose funding for that?
We have the problem areas fixed on
Okay. That's
We-
already
we
been
did
taken
ours.
care of, all right.
the highway department
Okay.
ourselves. We did the one on Jamesville and Stone Church.
Sure. Okay. Well, are you ready for a motion, Madam
I
Chairman?
am, anytime.
I move approval of the bid for the Jamesville bridge repair in the amount of $118,665 to be completed no later than, what was it?
March 8th.
March 8th, 2020.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the bid as presented. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Bid has been accepted. Item 7, discuss repairs to Old 50, 309th Street near Bleaks Bridge.
I presume that's the damaged asphalt from the riprap project. After, I've looked at it, knowing there was going to be some damage. Our options were we could close the bridge, we could put down bedding of whether it been clay, dirt, gravel, whatever it been. But therefore, we would not been able to open and close it like we did in the evenings, opening it up at end of the day and then closing it in the morning, but, because that was one thing the contractor asked me, if that was all right to dump it there, that was part of the plan, and I said that's probably the most feasible to keep the public traffic flowing,
And that's because there's no shoulder in that,
Well, and that was the other thing, so you dump it on the shoulder, well,
or no ditch.
you're doing the same thing, you're damaging the shoulder, if it rolls off into the ditch, you're going down there with the payload or whatever to grab it, you're gonna break the shoulder off, so no matter what, there's a damage factor there, and then if we would've made a bed of clay on the road, we had weather in between the times, because he didn't work on it straight, because there's snow, and then I think there was a couple rain events. It might have been closed for 3 weeks, and I just felt that this was the best case scenario.
And your estimated cost of,
I went out and looked at it the other day again. Honestly, all we really need to do is take the paver out there and do a skim patch. Less than $1,500.
I guess I got a couple complaints on this, because I've driven out there and looked at it. It is pretty darn rough on both sides of the bridge, and I, understand and support your decision to do that, to keep it open, but I think for the next time, we just need to consider maybe doing something a little bit different, because there are pretty good-sized holes there, and we're not gonna be able to use the paver till
It probably won't be until
the
May.
summer. Now we're having all those vehicles, drive through there. The reality is these bridges are old, and we need to do whatever we can to reduce damage on those, and so if we do it next time, I guess I would be in support of just shutting that down bridge, doing it right, and not causing that damage in the first place, and then reopening it. It's a tough call. I support the decision you made, and I applaud you for wanting to open it up, but, there was a trade-off. Now there's damage, and now people are gonna be suffering through that until May. It's a trade-off.
Well, and we're gonna try to, I know we've had decent weather, I had guys doing other things, and I guess it's my fault, but as soon as like this week, there's snow in some of them divots, so we can't cold patch.
Sure.
As soon as that thaws out enough to where there's no moisture in them,
Sure.
no snow in there, we'll get out there and hand patch.
Sure.
And I actually don't personally even know if that's necessary, but
It's
if there,
pretty bad.
some of the holes that could be filled in, I guess, but I had the same concerns after the work was done, and then I talked with Sherry the other day, and she kind of explained that was expected, I guess, part of the plan, and I guess to me that makes sense rather than closing that whole bridge. day and night for, you know, what turned out to be several weeks that, you know, made sense, so.
Wants to just try to work with the public. and-
Right, sure. Yep, no, I think that was the right call there. Is there any chance that cost to repair is part of that project then?
No, I talked with Shane up there and with ER, and no, that is not damage done by the flood.
Sure.
Is it a cost that can be passed on to the contractor? No. I gave him permission to do it, so
Right.
I guess I'll be the one accountable for it.
Well, like I say, I mean, I support that decision. I think you made the right one. I just wondered if we could throw it in, because if we were to incur the cost of clay mat and whatnot, that would have all been part of that original bid and part of the reimbursement, I would
Right.
think.
Then that would, yes.
Yeah, but
Have you had an opportunity to look at the flow of the water, and now that the riprap has been put in? And
Yes.
your thoughts on that?
I do believe the flow of the water shifted east, but is it done by the riprap that we placed there? No, I don't believe so. How can we change the flow, the river bottom, you know?
well, I think a lot of what we see, or what I notice, is there's a channel through the ice right now. There was an ice, you know,
Right, it might
loose
look-
ice that came, and how that ended up as the flow that we see.
It might
now.
look totally different once the ice is gone. As of right now, that's the way it looks. Looks maybe deceiving right now with the ice.
Just like those trees that were in there a few years ago, they changed the direction of the flow. And the more they build up, the
No.
more it changes, plus it speeds it up.
And that is one problem that's under there right now with the trees. There are some trees under there, and the contractor could not get to them. And to get his machine on the bridge, the machine is too heavy. So right now, we gotta kind of hope the water goes down enough to where we can get down in there.
Yeah, because you don't want it to end up like the excavator on New Highway 50 down there with the muffler sticking out of the mud this far. A few years ago, remember that? What was it, about 7 years ago?
All right, thank you for the explanation. I did want to mention on Tuesday evening, Mike is not going to be available for our commission meeting. So if you see something on the agenda and you have a question for him, contact him before Tuesday, so he can answer that question, or let Don or I know. and
I'd
we
like
can-
to maybe get an update on the Stone Church PE grants, and then where we're sitting at on the bike trail the grant that we had.
The bike trail grant we have until 21.
Okay.
Be like, if I remember right, October, November of 21.
Okay.
That will be something we'll be bidding out this year.
Okay.
I talked with the DOT. I heard rumor that at one time there was going to be a project down there that they were going to be paving, and that is not, so we'll have to bid it out ourselves or try to find a smaller paver. In the past, we on the Deer Boulevard, when we borrowed a paver to do that one, and they no longer have that one, so.
Okay.
Mike, about a year ago, before everything hit the fan, Bill, we were going to address the drainage from the parking lot, your lot out there, across the road and out through the basins that were built. Have you had any time to talk to the township and get that process started?
I think Rob, he wrote up a resolution for us. I don't, Rob, have you gotten one written up for Utica Township? For that road out by,
Is that something we did long time ago?
we did this,
Yeah, it's
Probably.
been at least a year, Rob.
Yeah.
but I think
But we didn't have any time to do anything this year.
probably back in June or July, you wrote a resolution for our end.
Yeah.
I don't,
I don't know if I drafted one. I could look and see. I know I got ours done, but I don't know if I did anything for them. But I can. I'm happy to get it going.
okay.
Is
Usually
it-
they'll do their own through their own township attorney, but I'm happy to do it if they did. But I'll
Okay.
check. I might have.
Would that be something that one could do in February possibly, get the culverts across the road? So that drainage can be fixed?
You're talking towards the north end of our lot then?
Yes,
Okay.
where it goes over towards the oak plant.
I will look into that.
Okay. Thanks.
You bet. And then the PE grants, I guess, well, the only one we have going on right now is Stone Church, and now they're working on it. That's all I can really tell you on that.
Do you have a time when that's gonna be completed by?
I want to say it was April sometime is the completion date
Okay,
for that.
thank you.
All right. No further questions for Mike. We can move on to item 8, executive session litigation pursuant to South Dakota Codified Law 125-2 subpart 3. Do I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to go into executive session. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We are in executive session. I would ask for a motion to come out of executive session.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second to come out of executive session. Further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. We are now out of executive session. No action will be taken as a result of the executive session. Don, did you?
I'd like to have the minutes reflect that Mr. Swenson left the executive session early.
Now's the time for public comment. All right, anyone in the audience care to comment? Any updates from the commissioners at this point?
It's cold.
I have a couple of them I'll give, but I'll wait until next meeting.
All right, sounds good. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Motion and a second to adjourn. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? So motion carries. We are now adjourned. Thank you.